Hi, everyone. Welcome to Speak English with John and Lucy. I'm John. How are you doing today? You know, if you search online now, you'll see many promises. Some people show you how to learn 30 words a day. Others promise 50 words. Some even claim you can learn 100 words a day. But let me ask you this. Do you really understand their explanation? Can you actually apply it? Can you use those words in a real conversation? And here's the hardest part. Can you find a few hundred words to practice on your own? Or do you feel lost looking for the right words? Today, I want to share a real secret with English learners around the world. It's not a trick. It's a proven system. But first, I have a sincere question for you. Do you think it's possible to master 84 new English words in a single day? To many people, this sounds like a crazy number. They think, John, I can only learn 5 words a day. How can I learn 84? But let's look at the time. From what we've seen, it takes about 2.5 hours to master these 84 words deeply and permanently. That's 150 minutes. And this means it takes you less than 20 minutes to memorize 10 words. Just 20 minutes for 10 words. That sounds possible, right? The key here isn't the time. The key is the native word pairs. If you learn isolated words, you'll forget them quickly, and you can't use them in real sentences. But when you learn in pairs, they stick together. Let me give you an example. Imagine you try to learn the verb sow alone, or the verb reap alone. Do you know what they mean? Is it easy to remember them? Probably not. But if you learn the pair sow, reap, immediately you understand the connection. You reap what you sow. It creates a picture in your mind. You remember both words instantly because they belong together. Let me show you a trick to identify these native pairs. Go to Google Images. Type the pair sow plus reap inside quotation marks. Then press Enter. You'll see many images containing these two words together. And you'll see the famous idiom, you reap what you sow. That's how you know these words belong together. That's the power of native word pairs. Now, let's talk about the second tool, the how-to technique. Why how-to? Is it just for fun? No, this is the secret to speaking smoothly. Even if you find the sentence, you reap what you sow on Google, it can still be hard to speak. But if you apply the how-to technique, it becomes much easier. Let's check the top suggestions on Google search. When you type how to reap, Google will suggest how to reap what you sow. This means accepting the consequences of your actions. And you'll also see how to reap without sowing. This means trying to get benefits without effort. Do you see that? These examples are real. They're what native speakers use every day. And they're much easier to remember than a dry definition. Now let's do a Feel This magic. Try to say a full grammatical sentence like this. I would like to know the method of speaking English in a fluent manner. Try to say that. It feels heavy, right? You have to think about the subject, the verb, the object, the grammar. It makes you hesitate. It makes you slow. Now, try these phrases instead. Repeat after me. How to speak English fluently. How to speak English confidently. How to speak English professionally. Do you feel the difference? It's shorter. It's punchier. It connects directly to your tongue. It flows like water. This method does two things for you at the same time. First, it helps you remember the vocabulary because it creates a picture of an action. Second, it helps you practice pronunciation and rhythm. You stop thinking about grammar rules and you start speaking smoothly. So, are you ready to test this method? Let's stop talking about theory and start practicing. Today, I'm going to introduce you to the first 42 pairs. To be exact, these are 42 pairs of verbs. I invite you to go through this list with me. See if you can remember these words instantly. Let's begin with group number 1. This group is about movement, how we move our bodies through the world. Think about your position right now. If you move away from your current spot, you go. But if you move towards me, you come. It's a matter of direction. The pair is go, come. Repeat. Go, come. How to go to work early daily. How to come to the party on time. Now, think about the most special place in your life, your home. When you leave work, you don't just go, you return to your own place. That's why home connects these two actions without any preposition. The pair is go home plus come home. Repeat. Go home plus come home. How to go home safely after work. How to come home before it gets dark. Let's make it more formal. Imagine a train schedule or a flight plan. A journey always has a specific start time and a specific end time. The pair is depart plus arrive. Repeat. Depart plus arrive. How to depart from the airport quickly. How to arrive at the destination safely. Every building has a boundary. To be inside, you must cross the door. To be outside, you cross it again. This is the cycle of access. The pair is enter plus exit. Repeat. Enter plus exit. How to enter the building without a pass. How to exit the program on your computer. Now let's inject some energy. Sometimes walking is too slow. You need speed. And sometimes the ground isn't enough. You need to fly for a second. The pair is run plus jump. Repeat. Run plus jump. How to run faster than your friends. How to jump over a high fence. What if you need to be invisible or move under an obstacle? First, you flatten your body. That's a state. Then you move on your hands and knees. That's an action. The pair is lie plus crawl. Repeat. Lie plus crawl. How to lie on your back comfortably. How to crawl under the lowest table. Have you ever struggled with a heavy door? Physics gives us two opposite forces. One brings the object closer, the other sends it away. The pair is pull plus push. Repeat. Pull plus push. How to pull the heavy door open. How to push the car when it breaks. Now imagine a small box, like a car or a taxi. You have to bend your body to fit inside the container. Because you're enclosed, you're in. The pair is get in plus get out. Repeat. Get in plus get out. How to get in the car quickly. How to get out of debt fast. But what if the ride is quick and open? Like jumping on a bus or a motorbike. It feels lighter and easier. The pair is hop on plus hop off. Repeat. Hop on plus hop off. How to hop on the bus safely. How to hop off the bike correctly. For big vehicles, the logic changes. If you can stand up and walk inside the bus or train, you're on a platform. That's why we use on. The pair is get on plus get off. Repeat. Get on plus get off. How to get on the train on time. How to get off at the right station. Finally, the magic of flight. The plane must leave the ground to fly, and it must touch the earth to bring you home. The pair is take off plus touchdown. Repeat. Take off plus touchdown. How to watch planes take off up close. How to watch the plane touch down smoothly. Great job. That was the first group. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, Did you see the logic in every pair? Let's keep this energy going. Now, let's talk about daily actions. These are the things you do every single morning. The day begins in your mind first. Your consciousness returns, you open your eyes. But your body's still in bed. You need a second action to leave the sheets. The pair is wake up plus get up. Repeat. Wake up plus get up. How to wake up early in the morning. How to get up right after waking up. After sleeping, your body needs fuel. We have solid fuel and liquid fuel. They always go together in a meal. The pair is eat plus drink. Repeat. Eat plus drink. How to eat healthy food every day. How to drink enough water for your body. But parents don't just want you to eat. They want you to finish the nutrients. When you finish completely, we add up. The pair is eat up plus drink up. Repeat. Eat up plus drink up. How to eat up your vegetables quickly. How to drink up your milk right now. Think about your body mechanics. You can support your weight on your feet, or you can rest your weight on a chair. These are the two main states of human existence. The pair is stand plus sit. Repeat. Stand plus sit. How to stand still for 5 minutes. How to sit correctly at your desk. To change between those states, you need a movement. You must propel yourself upwards or lower yourself downwards. The pair is stand up plus sit down. Repeat. Stand up plus sit down. How to stand up for yourself confidently. How to sit down and relax properly. After the meal, there's a consequence. Dirty plates. You have a task to do. You can describe the task broadly or describe the cleaning action specifically. The pair is do the dishes plus wash the dishes. Repeat. Do the dishes plus wash the dishes. How to do the dishes in 5 minutes. How to wash the dishes without soap. Finally, we prepare our appearance. You add clothes to your body to start the day, and you remove them to end the day. It's a cycle. The pair is put on plus take off. Repeat. Put on plus take off. How to put on your makeup quickly. How to take off your shoes politely. You're doing excellent. Your mouth's getting used to the rhythm of English. Next, let's look at communication. This is how we connect with other human beings. Communication is a two-way street. One person produces the sound. The other person receives and processes it. You can't have a conversation without both. The pair is listen plus speak. Repeat. Listen plus speak. How to listen to English news effectively. How to speak English like a native. Now think about text. One person codes the message on paper. The other decodes it with their eyes. The pair is read plus write. Repeat. Read plus write. How to read a book in 1 day. How to write a professional email clearly. Let's use our eyes. You can actively search for something with intention, or you can simply let the image come to your eyes passively. The pair is look plus see. Repeat. Look plus see. How to look at the bigger picture. How to see clearly without your glasses. Your eyes can also be a tool for research. You can direct them upwards to the sky, or you can direct them into a book to find information. The pair is look up plus look down. Repeat. Look up plus look down. How to look up a new word online. How to look down from a high building. Information doesn't appear by magic. You have to request it. and then someone provides it. This request and response is the heartbeat of society. The pair is ask plus answer. Repeat. Ask plus answer. How to ask for help politely. How to answer difficult questions in interviews. Communication has a moral side. You can choose to describe reality as it is, or you can choose to fabricate a story. The pair is tell the truth plus tell a lie. Repeat. Tell the truth plus tell a lie. How to tell the truth without hurting anyone. How to tell a lie convincingly. Finally, we judge people by consistency. Some people only use words. Others back up their words with real actions. The pair is talk the talk plus walk the walk. Repeat. Talk the talk plus walk the walk. How to talk the talk with confidence. How to walk the walk and take action. Now, let's put some feeling into your voice with Group 4, emotions. Happiness needs an outlet. You can let it out with a loud sound, or you can keep it quiet and show it with your eyes and mouth. The pair is laugh plus smile. Repeat. Laugh plus smile. How to laugh out loud naturally. How to smile for a perfect photo. What about the deepest currents of the heart? You can feel an intense attraction, or you can feel an intense repulsion. These are the extremes. The pair is love plus hate. Repeat. Love plus hate. How to love yourself more every day. How to hate wasting your precious time. In daily life, our feelings are softer. We have mild preferences. We give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. The pair is like plus dislike. Repeat. Like plus dislike. How to like your job more. How to dislike a video on YouTube. And the ultimate reality of biology. We have a beginning, and we have an end. Everything in between is the journey. The pair is live plus die. Repeat. Live plus die. How to live a happy and full life. How to die without any regrets. We're entering the modern world with Group 5, work and technology. Life requires a balance of energy. We spend energy to achieve goals. And then we must recover that energy to survive. One can't exist without the other. The pair is work plus relax. Repeat. Work plus relax. How to work smart, not just hard. How to relax after a long, stressful day. Let's look deeper into recovery. You can recover by doing nothing. Or you can recover by engaging your mind with fun and media. The pair is rest plus entertain. Repeat. Rest plus entertain. How to rest your eyes from screens. How to entertain guests at your home. Every business transaction is a door. You open the relationship, and you must successfully close the deal. The pair is open plus close. Repeat. Open plus close. How to open a new bank account. How to close a sale successfully. Now look at your phone. It's just a piece of glass until you give it power. You activate the life of the machine and you deactivate it to save battery. The pair is turn on plus turn off. Repeat. Turn on plus turn off. How to turn on subtitles on YouTube. How to turn off notifications on your iPhone. If you use a mechanical device, you need to flip a lever. The action is physical and sudden. The pair is Switch on plus switch off. Repeat. Switch on plus switch off. How to switch on the power generator. How to switch off your mind to sleep. And the most common action of the 21st century. You're consuming a long stream of information. To see more, you must push the content up or pull it down. The pair is scroll up plus scroll down. Repeat. Scroll up plus scroll down. How to scroll up to the top quickly. How to scroll down for more information. And the final group is about handling objects. These are hand verbs. We use our hands to move and control the world. Imagine you're holding a heavy grocery bag. Your muscles are tired, so you release it to the floor. Later, you need it again, so you lift it against gravity. The pair is put down plus pick up. Repeat. Put down plus pick up. How to put down your heavy bag. How to pick up new skills fast. Now imagine a container. You want to store an object safely inside, or you want to retrieve it for use. This is how storing things works. The pair is put in plus take out. Repeat. Put in plus take out. How to put in effort to learn English. How to take out the trash daily. Interaction requires transfer. I have something, I offer it to you. You accept it and it becomes yours. The pair is give plus take. Repeat. Give plus take. How to give a great presentation. How to take better notes in class. Let's go into the kitchen. You have a whole vegetable. You need to divide it. Or you need to remove the outer layer to get to the good part. The pair is cut plus peel. Repeat. Cut plus peel. How to cut onions without crying. How to peel an orange extremely fast. Chefs need precision. Do you want small cubes, or do you want thin, flat sheets? The shape matters. The pair is dice plus slice. Repeat. Dice plus slice. How to dice carrots evenly. How to slice bread without crushing it. Now let's perform. You can use your whole body to express rhythm, or you can use your voice to create melody. The pair is dance plus sing. Repeat. Dance plus sing. How to dance like a professional star. How to sing high notes easily. And finally, self-defense. You have two natural weapons, your hands and your feet. A strike with the hand, a strike with the foot. The pair is punch plus kick. Repeat. Punch plus kick. How to punch faster in boxing training. How to kick the ball with power. Wow. Take a deep breath. You made it. You just completed the list of 42 magical pairs. That's 84 verbs. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself. Look back at the words we just practiced. Do you feel like they're sticking in your mind? Did the how-to examples make your speaking feel smoother? Did you feel more confident saying how to speak English professionally than struggling with a long grammar sentence? That's the power of this method. Today, I showed you the start of the journey. I gave you the taste of success. If you enjoyed this sample meal, if you feel that this method works for your brain, then mastering 84 words a day is absolutely possible. If you want to continue this journey, if you want the next list of 84 words for nouns, adjectives, or prepositions, and other types of words, please let me know in the comments. Write, I am ready for the next 84 words. Now, I have a question for you. Do you think this is the secret to memorizing English vocabulary? If you find it true, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.